Rebuilding yourself begins with one of the most transformative principles you can embrace: taking responsibility for where you are and where you're going. It's a simple idea, but don't let its simplicity fool you. This single shift in mindset has the power to change the trajectory of your entire life. Responsibility isn't about blame or guilt, it's about power. It's about recognizing that while you may not control everything that happens to you, you have absolute control over how you respond, how you learn, and what you do next. Taking responsibility starts with honesty, brutal honesty. You have to face the reality of your life as it stands today. Look at your health, your relationships, your career, your finances. Are they where you want them to be? If the answer is no, that's okay. But here's the catch: you have to own it. If your finances are a mess, acknowledge that it's the result of decisions you've made. If your health is not where it should be, admit that it's the choices you've been making that got you here. This isn't about self-punishment, it's about empowerment. Because if your decisions created the problem, then your decisions can also create the solution. You see, most people spend their lives blaming. They blame the economy, their upbringing, their boss, their spouse, or even the weather. Blaming feels good in the moment because it absolves you of responsibility. But here's the truth: blame might feel like an escape, but it's actually a trap. When you blame, you hand over control. You're saying, I'm powerless to change this because it's someone else's fault. Responsibility, on the other hand, is liberating. It puts the power back in your hands. Now, taking responsibility doesn't mean you're at fault for everything that's happened to you. Life is unpredictable, and sometimes things happen that are beyond your control. Maybe you were laid off, went through a breakup, or experienced a health crisis. These things are real, and they're hard. But even in these moments, you have a choice. You can choose to be a victim, or you can choose to be a survivor. You can let the situation define you, or you can decide to use it as fuel for growth. One of the most empowering realizations is that your past does not dictate your future unless you let it. Maybe you've made mistakes, maybe you've faced setbacks or been stuck in bad habits. That's okay. What matters now is what you're going to do about it. Taking responsibility means looking forward instead of backward. It means saying, I can't change what happened, but I can change what happens next. The first step in taking responsibility is to stop making excuses. Excuses are the enemy of progress. Every time you say, I can't, because or I'll start, when you're giving yourself permission to stay stuck. Instead of saying, I don't have time, say, I haven't made this a priority. Instead of saying, I can't afford it, ask yourself, how can I make this work? Shifting your language shifts your mindset. And shifting your mindset changes your actions. Next, you need a vision. Taking responsibility isn't just about acknowledging where you are, it's about deciding where you want to go. What does the best version of your life look like? Take some time to think about it. Write it down. Be specific. Don't just say, I want to be successful or I want to be healthy. What does success look like for you? What does health feel like? The clearer your vision, the easier it will be to take steps toward it. Once you have a vision, break it down into small, manageable actions. This is where the magic happens. People often get overwhelmed by the gap between where they are and where they want to be. But remember, you don't rebuild a house all at once. You do it one brick at a time. Maybe your first step is to save $10 a week, or to walk for 15 minutes a day, or to spend one evening a week reconnecting with a loved one. These small actions may seem insignificant, but over time they add up to something extraordinary. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. Taking responsibility means committing to that discipline. Even when it's hard, you're going to face obstacles. You're going to have days where you don't feel like doing the work. That's normal. But taking responsibility means showing up anyway. It means saying, this is my life and I'm not going to let a bad day or a bad mood derail me. Finally, surround yourself with the right people. Jim Rohn famously said, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If you're serious about rebuilding yourself, you need to spend time with people who inspire you, challenge you, and support your growth. Seek out mentors, friends, or even books and podcasts that push you to be better. The environment you create for yourself plays a huge role in your success. Taking responsibility for where you are and where you're going is not a one-time decision, it's a daily practice. Every day you'll have choices to make. Some will be small, like whether to hit snooze or get up on time. Others will be bigger, like whether to stay in a job that's draining you or take a risk on something new. Each choice is an opportunity to take control, to build momentum, and to move closer to the life you want. Rebuilding yourself is not easy, but it is worth it. It's about creating a life that you're proud of, one decision at a time. So take responsibility. Own your past, own your present, and most importantly, own your future. The power is in your hands.